Germany's shrinking, France is stagnant, and these numbers are coming even before the Russia sanctions spat, takes hold. How much worse can it get?
Well, as you mentioned, the Eurozone PMI numbers do look weak. The PMI numbers themselves haven't slipped below that 50 mark, but certainly the weakness in the growth data will be a source of concern to the European Central Bank in their deliberations. That, again, and the weakness in inflation we're seeing is clearly impacting on sentiment for the euro in particular.
Okay, and just looking at Germany, manufacturing they're holding up, but services slipping a bit more. What does this tell us about the coming months for Germany?
Well, it's hard to say because we've been getting mixed signals in the Eurozone. So our economists expect very moderate growth in the second half of the year and in 2015 as well. Our economics team is forecasting, I think, just below 1%.
France, not so much of a mixed picture. We've seen a lot of bad news come out from there. Does this suggest that Hollande is not able to push the reforms through, and what can he do?
Well, structural reform is very important in the Eurozone, and the ECB has mentioned that repeatedly in their press conferences. I think the lack of structural reform is important for sentiment around the currency as well. So it's something definitely important to watch.
And Phyllis, does this put Draghi in a difficult place? Does he have to do as well as say whatever it takes now?
Well, the remit of the European Central Bank, of course, is monetary policy. So to the extent that they start to think about the drop in inflation expectations and in inflation, we do think that they will be minded to do more in terms of policy. But we won't see anything until September when we get the start of the TLTROs.
When you say more, what do you mean by more? What is needed to kickstart the real Eurozone economy?
So we know that they're going to do the TLTROs and the LTRO. We also know that they have some plans of a purchase program pertaining to asset-backed securities. But beyond that, if we see the growth inflation backdrop weaken in the Eurozone, we think we'll need to see broader-based asset purchases, certainly to support the euro.